followed by Loretta Sharp.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. There's a lot of things I got to get in 2 little minutes. First of all, there's cards going around right now that's talking about the Pool Moon Party. This is on Friday the 13th. That's June the 13th, which also happens to be the night of the full moon. The NAPC has no intention of losing the great momentum that we've started this evening on the avenues. So we're taking the front porch on the road for the summer, and our first stop is the fabulous Lake Worth Pool. Admission will be absolutely free to anybody who wants to come. We'll have a grill with hot dogs, dancing under the stars, musical stylings by the ever-popular DJ, Mr. John Faust, and it's going to be just a great, great night. And we're anticipating a big crowd, so we will have 3 Scrabble tables set up. Everybody's invited. We hope you all come. I loved hearing the Vice Mayor and the Mayor both speak about the moving ceremony Memorial Day. We don't have to wait until Veterans Day. On June the 14th, the day after the full moon party, is Flag Day. And our wonderful friends at the Scottish Rites Masonic Temple always do an incredible ceremony in Bryant Park. It would be so wonderful to have our entire commission represented there. And please put this up on the city's website so people can come. It's only an hour ceremony, but it's the bagpipes. It's the whole pipe and drum corps from the Masons. There's incredible singing. There's the Pledge of Allegiance like you've never heard it before. He does the what the hell was his name? Red Skelton version.
Excuse me. Watch it. H-E double hockey sticks.
Okay. He does the Red Skelton version of it's a wonderful thing. I have Raft Race t-shirts. Looks like we are going to have a record number of rafts this year. So far we've gotten 2 strong indications from at least 16. So get your ideas ready. Art on the water. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stop.
Thank you. Loretta Sharp, followed by Peter Tim.
Church for sale.
I always like speaking after Mary, because I can say I agree with everything Mary said. Now, Mary said, what are you going to talk about? And I said, well, if somebody says something nice, I'm going to talk about nice. And if somebody says something stupid, I'm going to talk about stupid. And I heard stupid tonight. Stop, please. Doggy bags.
Direct towards me. Ms. Sharp, direct all your questions towards me, okay? I'm the one wearing the vest.
Madam Mayor, doggy bags.
Yes.
Go downtown South Conway, we have them on every block. They don't use them. They poor landscapers go out in that median with their weed whackers and they get covered with poop. And they have to wear it all day long. So they don't use them. But put them up in everywhere. Just have them everywhere. I don't know why people don't keep their dogs at home. I had a backyard. I had a poodle for 18 years. It went in my backyard. It didn't go up and down the streets. You're doing a good job. I like it.
Peter Tim, followed by Justin Zaks.
Peter Tim, yes, and I'm not talking about the next thing on the agenda. I am talking about the meetings that were held, which are not on the agenda. So, for that, I had to write it down to get it in 2 minutes. At the first district meeting, I said only do 1 district at a time and only bond out 20 million at a time. I was asked by a person which district should be first, and I replied to pick them out of the hat. The moderator and other commissioners who were there, and whom I now call salesmen for this loan, told some speakers to stay on point. However, when Commissioner McCoy got up and talked for a half hour about global warming, nobody told him to stay on point. At my next district, my district, Northeast, I was interrupted by a salesman who said I was the only interested in my district and we should be paying, as if we are paying for most of it. And when I was not allowed to finish, the Lake Worth Herald got it right about picking it out of the hat. But you can't unring a bell, so I guess a lot of people up there don't like me. I also said what I thought was the payout figure for the loan and was told that that was wrong. The next night, at the last meeting, I talked to a salesman who showed me my figures. We both went over to the finance director, who said I was wrong and gave me the correct payout figure for the loan. Are you ready for this? It is $131,015,442. That is the amount we will have to pay back on this loan. On the next agenda item, I'll have more about this. I would like the salesman and the finance director to confirm the $131,000 figure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Dustin Zacks, followed by Michael Case.
Hello. Good evening. This one? Is the right one? Okay.
Both of us.
First, I want to say I disagree with Mr. Tim. Secondly, attending these meetings, Mr. Marshall, is like listening to the director's cut of your favorite movie. Okay, I have three issues. The first one is I want to issue a public kudos to the planning and zoning staff that we have. We've actually had very few projects coming through lately, but this last meeting was very exciting. We have I know Rinaldi's going to talk for like an hour at the next meeting about this, but we have some stuff in the Park of Commerce coming in. We have a new hotel coming in on 10th Avenue. It was very clear to me that the staff had gone back and forth with them like a dozen times. So kudos to Maxine, William, and all those dudes. The second issue, this is really looking far ahead, but, and I know I spoke about this jokingly the last time I showed up here, but the medical marijuana issue in November, one thing to think about is the regulation of that at the local level. What happened in Michigan and all the other states where medical was legalized was, it was a free-for-all, okay? Nobody knew whether dispensaries were legal or not. That includes in cities as liberal as Ann Arbor. Nobody knew whether it was legal or not. So, not today, not the next meeting, but go home and think about what our policy is going to be. Talk to your constituents and neighbors and see what they want. If we don't want to ever have them, think about it and make a regulation on that. If we do want to permit them and regulate them, let's make it the best regulation we can do it. Let's not do it late after the election, because the state's going to go slow on that. You know that, I know that. Now, the most important issue. June 2nd, in Time magazine, Pope Francis urges couples to raise kids, not cats and dogs. And what he said is, it might be easier or more comfortable to have a dog, 2 cats, and the love goes to the cats and the dog. But in the end, old age comes in solitude with the bitterness of loneliness. So when you think about cats, it's not just me, it's the Pope backing me up. The final issue is, in the Philippines, there's a city councilor in Quezon City who is seeking government health care for cats and dogs for poor residents. So what I'm suggesting to you is that we are on a slippery slope. We're on the cusp of a precipice here. Every day that you overlook the feral cat problem, we're going towards this end. I urge you to do something about it.
Thank you. Michael Case, followed by Mark Perla.
Hi, Mike Case, 11 South C Street. More louder.
More louder.
More enthusiasm.
There you go.
Okay, so, I'm gonna go backwards because, number 7, people like to walk their dogs and dogs like to walk backyard or kids just. Doggy bag advertising, when I went to Lake Worth, I mentioned their doggy shirt last time I was here. They've got advertisers on their bags, that might help fund some of it. Bike lanes, definitely. I've often wondered why bike lanes are left out. I've often thought maybe we could chop through some of these extended medians and put that, whatever, something to think about. I know parking is conflicting there. 4, energy saving initiatives, which I mentioned to the representative. We had it here years ago. They wanted to take cold water out of the ocean, and they wanted to put generator fans in the ocean. We don't have any way to restart environmental things. We start taking temperature and everything, and I did mention back then if we start taking the cold water out for the cooling towers, we're going to have warmer water and bigger hurricanes, and there's a flow that goes between the continents, and it requires hot and cold water, different temperatures, and we can't just kickstart it and it happens. So if something comes out, keep that in mind, messing with nature's temperatures and flow. Backwards, trash can graffiti. I have painted every trash can lid from here back to A. I'm not going to do Bryant Park, brown spray paint. And it's usually once you're covered up, they don't come back. Rarely have I had to do it twice. traffic flow arrow stuff that I mentioned is on that map there. Okay, and then the casino signage. I'm just wondering why, I'm sure there's a reason we kept the word casino, but we didn't put in anything about, entertainment or rental space. Rental's a weird word. But there's no signage up there.
Thank you. Thank you. Mark Perilla, followed by Tammy Panza.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I have the pleasure and the honor to report to you that on Friday evening at approximately 7:30, I got a call from a very observant member of Genesis who told me about some activity in an abandoned home. So I drove over to go take a look at it, and after speaking with her on my way back, there's like a sump station on, I think that's Elm, on the Pinecrest Cemetery, on the most northern portion of it, near Pine Street, and there was water spewing out, I mean like an open hydrant. So I got on my cell phone, and I called Jamie Brown, I got his voicemail, I called Suzanne Rosales from Public Services. Now mind you, this is 7:30 something in the evening, and she gave me the emergency number to call the water utilities. I called and spoke to a gentleman, I wish I had gotten his name, but I was more still trying to remember what I had seen and trying to document the address of the home and everything of the illegal activity. And the time it took me to drive around the corner back to 701 South A Street and finished the call, and I hung up, and less than 10 minutes later I had a call, Mark, can you go out and meet someone who's over at the pump? So I identified that that's the area. Now, when I went back, the water had stopped, but I explained to him which one it was coming out of, and there was an issue. He said that's an air pump, and if water was coming out, the next time the pumps come on, something's clogged in there. But I looked at the guy, he was all sweaty. I says, did you like run here or jog? He says, no, he was at the gym, and he got a call from Jamie Brown, and he left the gym and was there, like, I mean, I said, what is this gym, like on 6th Avenue, or downtown, is it, the Zoo Club? Because the immediate response, so for those, I hear complaints and no response from it. I mean, on a Friday evening, close to 8 o'clock p.m., before 8 o'clock, there was a tech out there who identified the problem and said it would be resolved. So over the weekend it was done. Thank you.
Thank you. Tammy Panza, followed by Richard Sell.
Hey there. Quick couple different things I wanted to speak on. Loretta brought up a good point, speaking on the poop, and I just have to say poop again. It's such a funny word. The doggy pot stands, we have some in our neighborhood. We would probably staff them or stuff them or do whatever if we had keys to them. So yeah, I'll bring it to my neighborhood if you guys can show us where to get keys. Second of all, our representative that spoke about the ports getting the dredging and the Lake Worth Lagoon project, which unfortunately is going to have a really bad side effect on the Blue Heron Bridge dive site. I believe Palm Beach is also considering a lawsuit against the repercussions of widening. I know that you have a lot of new jobs and good things about widening the ports, but you're going to lose a very unique natural resource and one of Riviera Beach's best dive sites and tourist areas. And it's also the top part of the Lake Worth Lagoon, so Lake Worth, hey, this is how it's related. I also wanted to mention about Dustin Zach's cat issue. I was thinking about bringing it up. A group has recently been started that is taking advantage of the free spay and neuter program. It's not just $10, it's free for at least the next few months, and she would like help with the project. If you have stray cats, if you're willing to help, if you have feral cats in your areas, if you have a pet that's not neutered, that is currently siring all of the feral cats in the area, please consider taking him to Peggy Adams and getting him spayed or her spayed and him neutered. And you can contact via Facebook page, Community Cats of Lake Worth, or call Peggy Adams, or even just drop off a feral cat Monday to Friday at Peggy Adams between 7 and 8 a.m. or 8 and 9 a.m. Thanks.
What would they charge for Dustin?
You want to neuter Dustin?
Mr. Stowe, come on.
Richard Stowe, 414 North Federal Highway. I just wanted to bring up, in 2012, I bought a heat pump water heater manufactured in Houston, Texas. The company's called Air Generate. I want to share that with the commission and everyone in the city of Lake Worth. The American Council on Energy Efficiency looked at life cycle costs of various types of water heating. Water heating accounts for 17% of residential energy use. And this heat pump water heater is, in terms of life cycle cost, is the most efficient. And it was interesting, I went on the site yesterday, and it turns out the 4 states in the Northwest are providing really good incentives for rebates or incentives to install heat pump water heaters. And I think Lake Worth should look at heat pump water heaters for this reason in particular, because the side benefit of them is that in order to create that hot water, you extract the hot air and you expel the cool air. You can take that cool air and put it into a ductwork and air condition the room. And there's a lot of hot days here in Lake Worth. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's what I have.
Thank you, thank you. Any more?